Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we got some news on the new Kizuna that will be coming after the treasure map, probably around the 23rd if I had to guess, with the banners releasing on the 21st, probably somewhere around there. But it is a 5+ super boss, and as you guys will see over there, we actually have a free-to-play Roger. So these are the new characters that are coming. We have a 6+ V2 AKAINU, we have a rare recruit Whitebeard. There's also a Vista, but his artwork's kind of dookie, so I didn't really want to show that. Then we have a 5-star Roger up top and a 5+ Roger over here. So we're gonna break down these characters today. We're gonna talk about what they do. Let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on them before the new super boss does come up. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you are new, hit that big red subscribe button. With that said, let's dive in and let's take a look at the new characters. Alright, so huge shout out to the Reddit for the information provided. Some of the boys did send it to me on Discord, but all the information is pretty much here, except for the level limit break of AKAINU, but we'll slide over to that once we get to it. Let's break down 5+ Dex Roger, and this is the character that everyone's going to be farming for during the Kizuna Clash. Really, really cool unit. Really cool that we're getting a free-to-play Roger as well. Very, very excited for that, so looking forward to this particular character. He's a 5+ Dex unit that is a slasher free spirit. His captain is a 4.5 times attack boost to slasher and free spirit characters. We are now in an era where we have a free-to-play character that is a 4.5 times captain. Absolutely wild. HP 1.2 times. Slasher and free spirit characters treat strength, quick, and dex orbs as beneficial. This captain ability is probably the best free-to-play captain in the game. No, no competition, honestly. This is insane. 4.5 flat rate for a free-to-play character, as well as making 3 orbs matching, plus one of them being his, unfavorable orb. That is so ridiculously good. So good. Remember, this is the 5+ version, so you will need to farm up the skulls. His special reduces 3 turns of bind on the crew, 3 turns of defense up, as well as 3 turns of resilience on enemies. For 2 turns, he's a plus 800 base attack booster to free spirit and slasher characters, and for 1 turn will reduce damage by 80%. When there is a base attack boost already active, he will then extend the existing base attack boost, by 1 turn. So, to break this down, if you use his special, you get 3 turns of bind, 3 turns of defense up removal, 3 turns of resilience. For 2 turns, you're a base stat booster, you can tank a shot. It all works out really, really nicely. The reason this is there is because this man has double special activation. So this Roger actually has double special, which means that you can get 6 turns of bind, you can get 6 turns of defense up, and 6 turns of resilience. Plus, you can get 3 turns of a base attack boost, which is pretty powerful. And if you run 2 of them, you can obviously just go bang, 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 bang. You can do some shenanigans because he's a very good captain, remember. But obviously, this guy is going to hybrid up very well with something like the new Luffy, with other Rogers, other slasher captains as well. So he's quite nice. He is a super type. I think he's a super type. I think he was a super class. Yeah, no, he's a super class unit. So he makes free spirit characters. Yeah, so he's a super class unit. He gives, you just seen Odin, Rayleigh, Scopper, Gaban, Whitebeard, Crocus, Shanks, Buggy, Inu, Neku, or Ace on the crew to activate his super class mechanic. And for 1 turn, he locks orbs and gives you a attack boost by 1.75 and turns free spirit characters into super free spirit. This is actually pretty good. This is a pretty good super class ability for a free to play character. It's nothing too crazy, but at the same time, you got to remember, he is a free-to-play character, right? Having a super class for free-to-play is actually really, really good. And this isn't too hard to get because, Odin has some very good characters. The new free-to-play Odin, for example, will go on this team nicely. Rayleigh, there's Ace. You could hybrid this guy up with Yamato and Ace and build a free spirit team. That could work out really, really nicely if you are missing that particular unit as well. His Sailor gives slashes to free spirit characters Dex Orb trading is beneficial, which is actually pretty good, and gives 1 turn of cooldown on himself when a slasher or free spirit character other than himself triggers a special. He has crit as well as double special, and he has a last tap as well. So pretty cool. Free to play characters are getting last taps now, final taps, and it's actually becoming a recurring thing. On the final stage, he has to have a Dex or a tandem slot, and for 1 turn, he gets plus 500 base attack, which stacks with his special. So this here is very similar to the waifus, as well as there's another character that has it as well. It doesn't actually give the buff, it just goes straight in. Very similar to how support Sabo works. This here, by the way, has a Dex or a tandem orb, is making me start to think that they are going to release a character that can do some sort of super tandem with Roger, with Odin, with something like that. It's making me believe that this particular line right here is going to have some sort of like hold up. Are we going to get a super tandem version of something like a Roger crew or something ridiculous, right? Or just like another Odin, say a new legend Odin, and you can, or a new Whitebeard, and you could do like a tandem with this particular this Roger. Now I'm being pretty hopeful with that, but nevertheless, I think it's more just because like Luffy's a thing, and Luffy, this guy's like going to be a really good sub under Luffy, and this is going to make it easier to actually get this final tap, because you can just use the Luffy special, you give him a tandem orb, and then you like Bob's your uncle, and you're just going to like hit very hard with the Roger, because he's going to have some nice stats, right? Like he's going to have some pretty good stats. He's a free-to-play character, but he's a 5+. You're going to be able to get him to level 150 pretty easily with his final tap, getting that base stats. Obviously, his special's not going to work that great on the Luffy, like, because you can like use the super class, right? But you can use his special to extend that, so that's actually pretty cool. Plus, you can use it twice, so you can extend it twice, turn Luffy's super type into a 3-turn base attack boost instead of using his, which is like pretty cool, especially if you need like this like bind and stuff like that for the team as well. So you can do some pretty cool things with this particular Roger. He's going to be a great sub under Luffy. His Pirate Rumble, I don't think it's going to be good, but we'll read it anyway. He does medium range, level 6 attack down, level 6 speed down, level 6 defense down, and 2200 fixed damage to 3 enemies. That's actually pretty good. Like that's actually that's pretty good. Like shout out to Kruby, where I was saying, imagine if they make him cracked in Rumble and then they give him this special. This special is actually really, really good. Like, it's a really good special. 20 seconds of attack down, 20 seconds of speed down, 2200 fixed damage, and 20 seconds of level 6 defense down. It's all going to depend on how like long his special like takes to charge, I guess. But that's actually pretty good. Dex allies level 5 HP up, level 5 speed up, and when there is 60% or less, level 4 defense up on himself. So he's a pretty good free-to-play option, to be honest, for the Dex team. Like, if I'm being real with you, he's a pretty good option. But nevertheless, the Dex team's pretty stacked, and yeah. As for Dex Roger, honestly, we're gonna skip Dex Roger because like you just want to get the skulls. Like, just get the skulls and get him to 5+. So don't worry about that. Speaking of skulls, though, we do have a new 6+ in the game, which is V2 AKAINU. Now, we did know this was coming because of Super Pirate Rumble giving out all the copies. So, V2 in Sakazuki is getting a Super Evolution, and he is absolutely insane. I've already looked at what this guy does, and I'm so excited. With his key, so his Limit Break expansion, he gives 1 turn of cooldown at the start of the fight. Strength and int characters attack 4.75 times, HP 1.3. Strength and int characters will treat strength and int orbs as beneficial. Increase the matching orbs rates for strength and int characters, and deals 0 to 800 times his attack in typeless damage to one enemy at the end of the turn, depending on how many perfect you hit. So it's the same as what he used to do. He just got much higher multipliers. He gives cooldowns at the start of the fight, which is so good, because like stalling with him could usually be an issue. And he does a shitload more damage. 800 times is way higher than the 500 he used to have. Obviously, normal attack only is still a thing, but nevertheless, that's not that huge of a hindrance. He does get a level Limit Break expansion, which actually isn't included here. And this becomes a 5 times captain with his level Limit Break expansion. So that's actually really, really good. His special does 200 times his attack in typeless damage to one enemy. So a damage dealing special is always nice. And it ignores defensive abilities and defense. He reduces 2 turns of defense up in % damage reduction on enemies, and changes all orbs, including block, into matching orbs. For 1 turn, will boost strength and int characters' orbs by 2.25. And when you've had 20 or more int or strength orbs consumed with normal attacks, he gives himself 12 turns of cooldown, exactly the same as Super Evolved Kuzan. The upside is this guy is an orb booster that gives you a full board of orbs. In my opinion, that is way more beneficial than an attack booster that gives you a full board of orbs, because then finding someone that does like an orb boost on the team can be a little bit of a headache, where finding someone that just does a straight attack boost is going to work very, very nicely. The fact that he now changes all orbs, including block, into matching orbs and not strength and int, just like Kuzan does, is a huge buff. Like, it's an astronomical buff, because now as a sailor, you get so much more value out of this unit. This line here, this 20 turns, like the 20 orbs, to me is still like a head scratcher. Just give him double special activation, but I know you can't change that. So, like, this is their way of doing so. But the 20 is still just, it's too high for me, in my opinion anyway. With his level Limit Break expansion, just like Kuzan, this becomes 3 turns of defense up and damage reduction. And this becomes 16 orbs. Again, I would have liked to see it go down to something like 12. But I do understand, like, these characters parallel to each other. And, giving, like, AKAINU a better buff than what Kizuna has would kind of just be unfair. Nevertheless, I think this guy's much better because he has a flat rate multiplier. And building a straight int team is possible. Or building, like, him and then a whole strength team works nicely. And you don't have to worry about tapping in particular orders. Unlike Kizuna, where Kizuna has a 5.25 multiplier, but you have to tap, like, quick psi. So, like, you have 2 units that aren't actually getting that 5.25 buff. In theory, I guess. But nevertheless, like, he's going to do a lot less damage than Kizuna, but he's going to have a lot more practicality. But this line here is not only good for just killing, like, big bosses, like, on stage 4 and whatnot, if there are no normal attacks only, but it's really good at getting around resilience. That's something that we forget about when it comes to this type of stuff. Resilience has become more prevalent, and this is a great way to actually get around that. His Pyre Rumble special cuts 25% of HP of all enemies. Level 7 defense down to strength and sight enemies for 40 seconds, and 1500 fixed damage to all sight enemies. So he's an option for the int team when you are versing sight characters. Level 7 defense down is actually pretty good, and a HP cut is actually not bad. He gives level 6 HP up, attack up, and level 3 miss rate up to sight enemies. So not a bad option when it comes to the actual int team, but I'm a big fan of what this Sakazuki's trying to do. I do like him much more than what the Kizuna does, and I do think he's a bit of a beast. This here, by the way, too, is so good. Getting cooldowns at the start of the fight means if you run him with a hybrid or run 2 of this guy, you're going to be doing some crazy things. Obviously, you do need to limit break expand him, as well as max level limit breaking, which includes 9 extra copies, but farm up Rumble because you can actually get copies of him right now from the Rumble. So, in Sakazuki, I'm a big fan of. Just like Kizuna, he's very, very good, but I'm a bit more excited for this unit than I was for Kizuna. Alright, scrolling down now, we've got the Kizuna rare recruits, which are Whitebeard and Vista, as well as the new support unit. Now, as we know with Super Boss Kizunas, the support unit becomes very, very valuable for the Super Boss. So we will talk about just their support, but we will break down Whitebeard and Vista as well. Whitebeard's captain, honestly, who cares? Like, you're never using him as a captain. Like, he's whatever. His special reduces 6 turns of attack down on the crew, 6 turns of threshold. And when the captain is a striker or a free spirit, you get 1 turn of chain boundary starting at 2.5, maxing at 35 times. Otherwise, you get 1 turn starting at 2.25, maxing at 35 times. Now, when I first read the information, I heard that this was 2 turns. But here it says 1 turn. So, I don't really know the difference, right? Like, the 2.25 compared to the 3, like, it's really not that big of a change. So, I don't know why they've done this. But nevertheless, a chain boundary unit, like, I'm never going to say no to a chain boundary unit. Like, they're very, very good. Plus, he has good utility. Attack down's great. Threshold removal's great. Partner him up with Roger. You've got yourself defense up. You've got yourself to threshold removal as well. He can't be blown away, which is awesome for Garp's challenge. What's it called? Because he's a threshold remover as well. He'd be really good for the worst generation if you're struggling with that. And he's going to be obviously really good at getting some tickets as well for you guys for this particular event. He's limit break level 2 at level 5. Huh? Boost character's base attack by 200 for the next turn after taking damage and reduces... Oh, no, sweet, yeah. That's in Rage. Cool. I read that and I just got really thrown by it. But yeah, it's basically in Rage. So, nevertheless, he's not a bad character. Not an amazing character, but, like, he is what it is. Whitey Bay, her support once per adventure. When the supporter character triggers a special, she reduces 1 turn of bind on the crew. Reduces 1 turn of barriers on enemies, and for 1 turn adds 0.7 to the chain buff and makes perfects easier to hit. She goes on Whitebeard, Vista, Ace, and Marco. Very restrictive support, so it's going to be interesting when it comes to team building for this super boss. This line right here, where she reduces 1 turn of barriers on the enemy, scares the absolute bejeebers out of me. This is going to be great for Yamato and Ace because they're obviously a chain boundary unit. But, like, there's not a lot of characters that this goes on. And the 1 turn of bind removal on the crew is kind of null and void when you use it on Ace Yamato. Because, like, you don't need bind removal when you use Ace and Yamato. Unless you're using them as a sailor, I guess. There actually is that sort of benefit there. She's a cool support character. Not game-breaking or anything like that, like the Otama, or the Otoko, sorry, or the Sabo. But she's actually pretty good. Like, she's alright. These support characters obviously are. And chucking a couple multis at these support banners for all players is definitely not a bad idea. The first multi is normally a discount, as well as giving a guaranteed support. The second one is a featured character. And I did see the banner. It does have the Sabo on it. And I'm pretty sure it has another really good support as well. So, definitely throw 1 to 2 multis at it. But if you are free to play, obviously, just throw all your multis at the anniversary banner. That is the way to go. Finally, we've got Dex Vista. He's kind of like the weakest of the batch. His captain ability, who freaking cares? And he gives 6 turns of resilience removal, 6 turns of paralysis, changes block, recovery, tandem, and badly matching orbs into matching. And if you have an attack boost, he adds 0.25. Otherwise, he's a 2 times attack booster to slashes, free spirits, and dex characters. He has slot bind removal, gives stats. He's just kind of whatever. Like, he's just what? Like, he's cool. Like, he's there. 6 turns of resilience is kind of like cool. Paralysis removal on top of the resilience is not a good combination in my opinion. And then orb manipulation can be nice with an attack boost, but like I'd rather that be an orb boost per se. But nevertheless, we've got a lot of orb boosters with this particular anniversary, so seeing another attack booster is actually pretty nice. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Bunch of information, obviously, like revolving around this new particular 5+ Whitebeard Roger that you do see on the screen. I gotta say, like, a lot of people are upset that we got this, like, and then he laughed scene, as a free-to-play character, but it's anniversary. Like, I'm actually pretty hyped for this character. I do love the artwork. I think it's really, really cool. I think they've done a really, really good job with the celebration of the anniversary and the free-to-play characters that they have chosen. So I'm very, very excited for this particular Super Boss Kizuna. Best of luck on your grinds. Best of luck on your summons if you are still summoning. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!